speak to Abbas Aslani, who's joining us from the Iranian capital, Tehran. Abbas, what is your sense of where things stand right now? A ceasefire has been announced by the U.S. president. The Israelis said that they accepted. We have no official response from Iran, as far as I know. And in the last hour or so, we've seen, according to the Israeli military, missiles fired from Iran. Where do you think this all stands, and where is this headed?
Folly, as we speak, there's a official statement from Iran's Supreme National Security Council confirming the ceasefire. They are saying, and they're framing in this way, that they have been able to impose the ceasefire on the Israeli side. But in the meantime, they have been warning that they are not trusting the enemy, and Iran's armed forces will be ready to retaliate against violation of the ceasefire. Meanwhile, regarding the news reports on missiles being launched toward Israel, Iran's state TV also denied launching any missiles against Israeli targets. So this seems that there has not been, let's say, missiles coming from Iranian side. That's yet question what has been happening, but at least it's not from Iranian side. So in the early hours of this ceasefire, the situation might be fragile, and it needs, attention from the both sides in order to avoid, a renewed escalation. But it seems that we also have the official confirmation from Iranian side, and it's important to take note that there will be no violation of the terms of this ceasefire.
Very important to bring us that latest line there from Iran, and thank you for it. So we now have official confirmation. Abbas Aslani, our guest in Tehran, telling us that the Iranians have also now accepted the ceasefire after the Israelis announced 2 hours or so ago that they would agree to the ceasefire, which was announced by the U.S. president. The Iranians now also saying, yes, they will abide by the ceasefire. And Abbas Aslani, you're also telling us that Iran has denied launching the missiles which the Israeli military said came from Tehran an hour or so ago, because we did see an alert in the Israeli military telling its citizens to take shelter. But as Noor O'Day, our correspondent in Amman, was telling us, there were no prior warnings. Usually when these things happen, there is a warning that sounds over Amman in Jordan, which is then also relayed in Israel. But we didn't hear it this time. And now you're telling us that the Iranians are denying having launched missiles towards Israel this morning.
This could be, first we have to know if there's any missiles being launched against Israel. We have to know that where exactly the source of those launches are. And this could be also suspicious given the record that Israel has had in adhering to the previous ceasefires with other parties in the region. They have had the record of violating that, and they have been trying to look for pretexts. But the official, let's say, stance and position here in Tehran is that there's a ceasefire and they have not launched missiles. So, but if we are hearing something different from Israeli side, does not necessarily, indicate that, that's the case. And we have to be watching what will happen in the coming hours. And if, Israeli side wants to respond, I think this could be a suspicious, incident that they are looking to find a pretext in order to break that ceasefire. But the Iranian side is denying any, let's say, renewed attacks on Israel.
Okay. Abbas, you talked about Iranian leadership presenting this and their accepting of the ceasefire as a victory. Will that also be seen as a victory by the Iranian people, the Iranian public? Because these past 12 days have been extremely costly to Iran. We've had over 400 people killed, if I'm not wrong, and a great deal of material damage as well.
Fully, this aggression was initiated by Israel, followed by further attacks by the United States. And the point that they themselves were the first ones to looking for a ceasefire, and they were trying to convince Tehran to accept that ceasefire, tells us that Iran's continued response against the targets in Israel and against American interests was not the thing that they wanted. So this could be framed as a kind of, let's say, success of Iran's resistance against aggression. And in the meanwhile, as a result of the recent aggression, the distrust among Iranian public toward West and Western capitals has increased. And this also has increased the backing of the government among the public. So this seems that, comparing to the previous months or years, the government and the public in the country, despite some differences, some problems, they are in good terms these days, and this could be an opportunity to somehow communicate in a way that could benefit for both. And these days, I think what people are hearing from the government will be much more acceptable to them than what they are hearing from the Israeli or American side. They are not trusting Benjamin Netanyahu and American President Donald Trump, specifically after the recent developments.
Abbas Aslani, thank you again for being with us and bringing us the view there from Iran. As I remind our viewers again of the latest developments, Iran in the last few minutes has denied reports of violating the ceasefire with Israel, which was announced by US President Donald Trump a few hours ago. Iran denies launching missiles towards Israel, saying that they did not come from Iran. The Israeli military had said earlier that it detected launches from Iran, to which then the Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said Israel would respond forcefully. But now the Iranians are saying that they were not behind that missile attack earlier today, an hour or so ago, towards Israel.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.